What is up, guys? We're right at the mark of month number 5. I did skip month number 4, to be honest. Just kind of procrastinated from that. But yeah, here I am, month 5. And to be honest, the longer I wait to make these videos, the more progress you're going to see anyways. So, to be honest, probably a good thing, right? So, as you can tell, it's from looking at the video, hopefully you can tell, there certainly are more hairs growing in as there were previously. I think in my last video, I expressed some sort of concerns about whether or not the hairs were actually growing. Excuse me. Yeah, so I expressed some concerns that whether or not the hairs were actually growing. I think right after the initial shock loss period, there just weren't that many of the implanted hairs remaining, and that's kind of all I noticed, right? And to be honest, I guess from the very beginning, I watched a lot of YouTube videos out there talking about post-op information, and it seemed like it was a common theme that most people experienced some sort of shock loss, in the first couple weeks, right? Now, I didn't get that much shock loss in the first couple weeks, in the first month, and even on the second month there wasn't that many. It wasn't until the second and third month was where I guess the follicles really started falling out. Or sorry, I don't mean to say follicles, but the actual implanted hairs, right? Those started falling out, and I just kind of assumed that my body kind of skipped the shock loss period and the implanted hairs would just kind of remain there, but no, they did come out through shedding, and yeah, so there I was around month 3 or 4 with very little visible. But yeah, so right around the month 4 mark, started getting a lot more new hairs growing in, as you can tell. And one thing to take notice is, if you recall from, I guess, my earlier videos, really it was only the frontal section was where I had grafts implanted. So, this is all quote-unquote original. There's all organic, right? So all this is organic, so still kind of, I wasn't too happy about the fact that they couldn't, just implant more grafts into that area. But I mean, that's fine. It is what it is. The surgeon told me, if she implanted hairs, and by the way, it was Neopel in Tijuana. So she told me, if we implanted some grafts there, it would kill off some of the existing hair follicles, right? And yeah, so they didn't do that. They just kind of implanted stuff, kind of in the front where there used to be hair. To be honest, I don't know where my actual hairline used to be when I was younger, but I would say this is kind of a fair hairline, right? It's still moderately higher than most people's, but that's just kind of how my body is, so it kind of retains that natural characteristic. So anyways, I want to talk about the implanted hairs and how it's growing in and the progress. And as you can see, the ones that have been implanted, they're shorter. They're shorter than the other hairs, just simply because it started growing at a different phase. So you can definitely tell where those are. And to be honest, I think the density is pretty nice. I think it's a decent density at this point. And we're about, 5 months in? So almost half a year, and I believe around that half-year mark is where you'd see majority of what you're gonna get, right? It does continue to grow up until later into the year, as well as surpass that as well. But yeah, you're gonna see majority of it around half a year. So yeah, I mean, overall, I like it. I know these implants are shorter than my organic hair, but I mean they are still growing, and if I can imagine it being at that same length, I think it would add a lot to the density of it, right? Let me adjust the lighting slightly. Yeah, I know it makes my face look weird, but you can definitely see the hair a lot better. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot better. So yeah, you can definitely see the line, the hairline. I would say it's relatively natural looking. Maybe to a trained surgeon they can tell. I don't know, maybe. But to the average person, definitely can't tell because I can't tell, right? So yeah. So feel free to go back to one of my old videos from say month 1 and 2, and you can kind of do a compare contrast to see the density of when it was first implanted and what it is now, right? So yeah. Overall, pretty satisfied with the results at the moment. And like I said, right around month 3, I was getting a little bit worried. I was like, oh crap, hairs are falling out, but they're not growing back in, right? But sure enough, just had to give it a little bit of time. It was literally, you know, week after week, new, hair started poking out, right? So yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited to see the final results. I mean, I guess this kind of is the final result. It's just a matter of letting it grow out, right? The only thing I'm concerned about, and this has nothing to do with um, the surgeon I use or the office, which is Neopel in Tijuana. It's nothing to do with that. The only thing I'm worried about is, so they literally implanted uh, grafts, in front of where, my organic line is was at the time. So, as my organic hair continues to thin out and recede, there's probably going to be some sort of a gap there from where, the new implanted hairs are and where my organic line would be. So, I guess that will put me in a lifestyle of constantly going back for more procedures, right? To get more grafts to fill that space in. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's not as dramatic as uh, what I think it is in my head. Maybe just the way I style my hair, it just wouldn't even be noticeable or something. I don't know, right? But anyways, I mean, clearly I probably do need additional grafts in the future, just simply because my implants are all in front of my hairline right now. So, but yeah, I look forward to keeping you guys updated with my progress. Hopefully, you guys find this of value. If you do, please feel free to share this out to anyone else. Or if you have any questions, feel free to message me, right? Feel free to message me. I'll probably drop my email below. Or you can just message me on YouTube, right? To be honest, I don't check this channel that often. This is the primary purpose of this channel is just really documenting my own progress. Oh, excuse me. And documenting my own progress and talking about the experience and letting other people see that, because before I got my procedure, I kind of had a lot of questions and I used other YouTube videos as resources, right? So please feel free to use my videos as a resource, and hopefully I'm giving good value to people who are looking into doing this procedure, right? So anyways, like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Until then, I look forward to making more progress videos, and I'm glad you're joining me along the way. All right. Oh, by the way, the back of my head, like, I don't know. I can't really see the back of my head, so I'll do a 360 spin, and maybe you can see what it looks like. But, my hair is a little bit long. It's not long, but, it's not, shaved or buzzed, so hopefully you can see something, the amount of progress. So I'm going to adjust the lighting here and do a 360 spin. And as before, obviously, I don't know what it looks like. I probably won't see it until I review this video. So let me readjust the light to a normal color, and I'll do another 360 spin to see if you can see anything different. Yeah, so hopefully you can see something, or actually ideally hopefully you can't see anything because it's healed up so well. But anyways, hopefully, like I said, hopefully this is of value to anyone. So got any questions, feel free to reach out. In the meantime, keep it real.